Hello friends, welcome back to part 4 of the Cupples Company Golf Club restoration. In this video we're going to show you the shellac'ing process, and really it's a pretty simple process. We're going to take the foam brush, as you can see here, and put on 3 coats. I'm only going to show you one as it's basically watching shellac dry, but the process that I use is we're going to put on the first coat, then we're going to elevate it, let it sit for 20 minutes. Then I'm going to take a brown paper bag and just wipe off any residue that may have collected or get the high spots of the shellac before I put on the second coat. After the second coat, we're going to wait about 2 hours, do the same thing with the brown paper bag, and then put on the final coat. All right, after 3 coats, that turned out really good. It's got a nice sheen to it, and it's a very solid, hard surface, which is exactly what I was looking for. Now that the hickory shaft is dry, we are able to attach the grip. So as you'll see, I am now just putting a little bit of double stick tape on that very end, and we're going to use another piece of basically painter's tape to hold it in place while we prepare the other double stick tape to go all the way up the shaft. And this is not traditional. So this club would have never used the double stick tape. Full disclosure, I'm going to be using this club to play with, so I wanted it to have a little bit of a tackiness. Now, essentially when you're putting this on, you want to have a slight overlap for each time you wrap it around the club. This is going to give it a little bit more grip, and the double stick tape is working great of holding this in place. Now you can see here that the grip overlap is looking good, and we're just about ready to put on the end cap. We're doing some minor trimming and just cleaning up those edges just to make sure that that cap goes on, because as you can recall, it's just going on with pressure. There's really no nails or glue that hold this on, so we're just going to be putting that cap on, and it's just going to sit very tight. You'll also notice that I'm putting in a tack. The tack is going to hold that end of the grip onto the wooden shaft, and there's a series of 2 to 3 tacks that you could put in, and I've opted for 2 as I felt that the double stick tape and everything else was holding it on pretty well. So the cap is on. I'm just going to try to puncture a couple of these edges around just to give this a little bit better of a hold. I'm not sure that it's entirely needed, but it's for safe measure. So lastly, what we are doing is we are cutting off the painter's tape, and we're also going to make sure this has a nice clean edge. So I'm going to roll this golf club and use my knife to cut this off, and this will cut all the grip off. Sorry, the club leaves the frame of view for a second, but it should be ready in just a few seconds when I pull this off. As I mentioned before, we have 3 tacks that we could use. I'm only going to use 2 of them. The double stick tape does a pretty good job of holding the grip in place, so really just with 1 tack at the very end of the club underneath the cap, and the other one down at the base of the grip near the hickory shaft is really going to be all that we need. Thank you everyone for watching part 4 of the series. In the final, part 5, we're going to wrap up the restoration. We may even take it to be demonstrated to see if we can hit it the 125 to 135 yards. Please stick around for part 5.